Hi guys, I wanted to talk to you about a few things that you read about in the slides here today on population dynamics. This guy right here is Porky. He's trying to get away from me, but he ultimately is a pretty good kitty. He's our lone barn cat right now, so the first thing I'm going to talk to you about and kind of involves him, and we're going to use a scenario that involves Porky there as he walks away. And that scenario is what happens with population dynamics, okay? On the one slide, you read about what happens if we introduce a predator or we remove a predator. Well, believe it or not, Porky is a predator, okay? Porky is a predator of mice and rabbits and snakes, the occasional snakes he'll kill and stuff like that. Even though he doesn't look big and bad right now, he is a good kitty, huh, Porks? At any rate, so Pork keeps that population down and in check. So what ends up happening? If we would bring in more cats, okay, Porky get a couple friends, I get a couple more barn cats, what would happen to the mice, rabbit, snake population then? Well, ultimately it would end up going down even further, okay? And then, we get other things there that would start to flourish. The things that the mice and the rabbits and the snakes eat, they would start to increase in population there as well. There he is, okay, big purring fuzzball. So that's what would happen if we would increase the population of cats, okay? Well, and probably bird population too. Let's be honest, he eats birds too. Quit putting out a bird feeder because it was kind of like inviting them to their death because he got wind of sitting under the bird feeder. So what would happen then if the cats disappeared? Well, we're obviously not going to remove Porky because we do like Porky here. But what would happen if we removed the predator? Well, let's just say, no secret, in Beaver County there's a lot of coyotes, and coyotes are the major killer of cats, big predator of cats here. Probably along with foxes, but coyotes, definitely the Game Commission says that coyotes kill a lot of cats. And we suspect that a lot of our barn cats over the years have gone missing due to the coyote population, which is huge where I live. So what would happen if all of a sudden we got an influx of coyotes? Well, then the population of the smaller predators would disappear. Coyotes tend to push out foxes, they push out, obviously eat the kitties and stuff like that. And so if there are less of those guys, then what's going to happen to the smaller things that they eat? Well, they're going to grow in population. So this is population dynamics. You can't just affect one organism and expect that that organism is the only thing that's going to be affected. And this is kind of why we're concerned as a human population. What happens when organisms go extinct? We are the numbers we are, and they are the numbers they are. All these organisms are, because everything keeps in check. This is the time in the school year where we would, or the time in our lessons where we would be doing a lab on population dynamics. The rise and fall of all kinds of critters has happened over history, and it hasn't been pretty in some cases. We would do a little lab activity where we would look at the population fall and rise of the Kaibab deer population in the Kaibab Plateau. President Roosevelt was involved in trying to secure them and to keep the starvation from happening. All in all, they hunted their predators because the deer population was so low, and then when there was no predators there for the deer, then they grew in insane amounts, from 10,000 deer to over 100,000 deer when the carrying capacity was only 60,000. And so what ended up happening over a course of a couple months, 40,000 deer starved to death. It was pretty horrible. So then what did they do? They reintroduced predators, they allowed hunting and stuff like that, and that's really what it is. We think about our Pennsylvania Wildlife, our Game Commission and stuff like that, and Fish and Boat Commission. That's what they do. They look at the populations of organisms and the harvests and stuff like that, and they go through and figure out hunting seasons based on what the population numbers are for all kinds of little guys. So, all right, that's it for population. I'm going to have to stop the video because it's going to get too large, and then I'll start for the next one.